Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, The Real Estate Real. I'm really excited to have you guys today. Of course, it's another day and you're tuned in. I hope you're feeling blessed today. Without further ado, of course, let's jump right into it and talk about the changes in California to the real estate market in 2022. So primarily this is going to be around what's changing around the laws in California, and I hope this gives you some insight if you are a homeowner or if you're a realtor, so that you can make the proper adjustments to everything going on and feel comfortable in the real estate market, of course. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the residential purchase agreement has changed. The residential purchase agreement changed on December 8th, I believe it was, of 2021. So from this point moving forward, we'll be using a new residential purchase agreement. What it did was it makes it easier for the general person to understand what they're looking at, because it breaks it down into different sections. If you've seen a residential purchase agreement before, you've probably bought a house or you are a realtor already. That's probably the only way that you would know what it was. And obviously what a residential purchase agreement is that is the offer that you're willing to make on somebody's house if you're a buyer, and the seller usually signs it and agrees to the offer at the time. So all that's changed on the residential purchase agreement is some contingency periods have shortened during the time. The appraisal, it used to be around 21 days. And because it's been such a seller's market lately, they changed it to 17 days only on the residential purchase agreement. But this doesn't mean as a seller or a realtor, or a buyer I should say, that you won't be allowed to even shorten the days of appraisal or any other contingencies less than 17 days. So what I'm trying to explain is basically if you have a pest inspection, normal pest inspections are done between 12 to 17 days. So instead of doing it in 12 days, some realtors and some buyers select to have it done in a short time frame, so that way the escrow period goes a little faster. If you haven't checked out my video already on the escrow period, check out my video on escrow, and you can see all about the breakdowns and everything else. So that's just the first thing. The residential purchase agreement has changed. So if I probably didn't tell you about that and you weren't watching this video, you probably wouldn't even notice, but that's a little bit of information for you today. Another thing is Senate Bill 9 is one of the most notable changes that have already existing homeowners know about. It will allow already existing homeowners to change from single family homes to multiplexes and duplexes. So if you've already lived in your home and you already own your home, of course, this is a good thing for people who want to build additional dwelling units to their house. And just so you know, it is harder in certain counties to, add additional dwelling units, or accessory dwelling units, which they call them. So just check your county stipulations if you're going to look into anything. Check what your county will allow, and obviously try to get the proper paperwork in line first, so that you don't just build something on a lot and the county comes and inspects it and decides that it's not safely built. So you either have to tear it down, or you have to do certain things that are going to cost you more money in the long run to make that accessible and safe for everybody around it. So what SB 9 does is it also has certain stipulations on it as well. The property must not have been used as a rental in the past couple of years, and the property also can't already have an additional unit attached to it. So if you already have a in-law suite in your home or something like that, then you're gonna have a little trouble getting around these, the Senate Bill 9, so that you could basically, add additional units to your property. If you already have one, they're not really allowing people to, just expand on their house. Another thing too is if you do add an additional dwelling unit to your property, it has to be at least half the size of your property that it already is, or up to 1,200 square feet if you're going to build an additional unit. So like I said, if you do plan on building or doing anything different, definitely check in with your county records and make sure that it's going to be okay, and get whatever paperwork you need signed, so that you can build these additional units in your area. So another thing is, to continue on, laws focusing on fair housing acts and have added additional categories to the AB 1043, and it recognizes two more categories from low income, which include very low income and extremely low income. So what these are designed to do specifically in areas is that if you've already been recognized as low income, they want to basically categorize these into deeper categories, so that people with very low income and extremely low income can get more, state financing later on or anything like that. So what they're doing is they're kind of breaking it down into different categories so that they could pretty much give people more financing if they do need it later on, which this could be extremely important later on, especially if, the gap keeps getting bigger, the wealth gap keeps getting bigger or anything like that. And just in general, people with low income obviously have a harder time in general. It's going to lead me to my next topic, but we don't want those people who are low income or very low income to become homeless at any point. God forbid that would happen, because there's already a homeless problem in California. So that's why it is important, even if you I don't know your mindset at the time, but I'm kind of getting emotionally and philosophically involved in it at this time. But I'm just saying, if you're gonna want to support the people who are on lower income, because if you think that it would be okay just to do nothing, you're gonna end up with a bigger problem, like homeless problem and things like that. And we just don't want to leave people out there on the streets and to fend for themselves and do stuff like that, if we have the proper resources to already help those people. So that is another thing. Bill 1043 has recognized more categories in the lower income to very low income and extremely low income. And another bill also passed. This doesn't exactly it doesn't exactly affect the housing units, but like I was saying, it does affect the homelessness and everything else that's going on with the homelessness. If you have been around Sacramento, you definitely notice a change. Maybe I will do a video briefly on the homelessness in Sacramento, California right now. Areas are filling up where pretty much homeless people have started camps around certain areas, to where they're just sitting there. They're setting up tents, and that's where they're living at the moment, right in the middle of an intersection or something, possibly at the time. It's getting crazy. But what Assembly Bill 362 is doing is compelling local governments to make sure all homeless shelters have been inspected and are free of any damages. That means water leaks, any certain type of leaks or any cracking, any damages at the place during the time, such as water damage, water's not working, any of that stuff. What is going on now is that the government will actually have somebody go out to the site if they do get a complaint at the homeless shelter, and they'll have someone inspect that for damages, as well as make sure the repairs are done and everything else, so that these people who are homeless can have somewhere to eat, sleep, and shit, of course. So that is something that that doesn't have to do directly with housing, but it also has to do indirectly with housing, if you get what I'm saying. Because, like I said before, I'm not trying to make this political thing, but we don't want the homelessness getting any worse than it is in California, because it affects everybody, whether you believe it or not. You don't want more people on the street. That equals more garbage on the streets and things like that. So, those are the laws that I thought would be most prominent to you right now. There are other laws. I'll post a link below to where you can click and see some of the laws that are going on right now and some of the laws that have changed. But I thought those wouldn't be the ones that are most relevant to homeowners right now. SB 9 is one that's really prominent in the media right now, and it's been publicized a lot, so you might know about that one already. But that's pretty much all I have for you today, a couple of laws. So I hope that was interesting and intriguing to you, of course. And, if you have any ideas, questions, anything else that you want to put out there and ask me, just send me a message, of course. And I thank you all for watching once again. It's always nice having you guys around, and this has been great. So thank you. Have a good day.